Hi, this is Darren from Property Prosperity. I just recently got off the phone from someone that gave me a call, just say, hey Darren, I've seen all the stuff you've been doing. Me and my business partner were looking at doing a development. Hopefully you can just give us some pointers and just sort of, give us some guidance along the way, just so we make sure we don't make too many mistakes. As it was sort of their first development, even though his business partner was quite experienced in the world of building, then I just sort of, so I said, yeah, no problems. Happy to have a quick chat and see what I can do for you. So there was a whole pile of things we discussed, I suppose. But right at the end of our conversation, I was just, I just sort of, I just said, oh, okay, cool, no problems. You're looking at doing your subdivision. Have you done any plans up or anything yet? Have you started getting quotes back from builders? And he said, yeah, I've got some quotes back from builders. And I said, oh, that's awesome. I'm more than happy to, help you out and, review their quotes for you and just give you an idea of where their prices are at and all that sort of stuff. And I just said, what prices you're actually comparing against? Did you get some plans drawn up by an architect or a building designer, or where did you get the plans done from? No. We just had the builders just gave us some plans. They draw up some plans and we just sort of changed around a little bit. So the first thing of my concern about that, firstly, was the fact that each builder, I think he had 3 or 4 different quotes from different builders, and each of those builders was creating their own plans. So my feedback to him is, well, when you're comparing these pricing coming back from these builders, it's going to be really difficult for you to be able to compare like with like, but you're quoting your different plans. At the end of the day, how are you going to know which one's the best value for money when you're not quoting the same thing? So that's probably my first feedback to him. And the second feedback I went to him was, well, if you do end up deciding you like one of these builders, the problem's going to be is you're not going to be able to get that identical plan quoted by any other builders, because the other builders aren't going to quote it up because it was prepared by one builder. That builder owns the copyright over the plans, and what the copyright means is basically they own the I suppose it's like intellectual property. They've sort of, hey Isaac, thanks for joining. So because they own the copyright, that means that no other builders can build with those plans, and so that means that no other builder is going to quote with it, because why would I quote up a plan that I can't build, because I'm not going to be able to build it then, essentially. So, and the danger is a lot of people think with plans and copyright, all they have to do is just change something, or they might say, oh, I change it by 10%, or I move a wall or something, and then suddenly it's a new plan. The thing they don't understand with what copyright means is copyright actually, it's the concept. It's how the idea of the plan came about, which is not so much changing it 10% or moving one wall from here to there. It's actually, the idea itself. And the reason why that's really important, why it's quite difficult, particularly in my world where I'm doing subdivisions and I'm subdividing to 250 or 300 or 350 square meter blocks, there's only so many ways you can design a house to fit on there. Traditionally, most people want a 3-bedroom, 2 bathrooms, or a single garage or double garage house. There's only so many ways you can design a house like that. And so if you suddenly said, okay, cool, I'll let that builder draw up some plans and get some quotes back, and if I don't want to go with that builder, I'll just switch. The problem for the next builder is he has to draw up some plans which are different, which are conceptually different. So you can show that it's come from a different place, essentially. And the problem with that is, most people like the bedroom, living area at the back. That's pretty much the common style of house plan, because it seems to work. You've got the living area at the back, so it looks out over the backyard, and so that's the plan that's going to be most suited to the block, most likely. And then suddenly you come in and you're asking another builder to change the plan around so it's not the same plan. The danger you're going to get then is that first builder can come back and say, well, you've just changed my plan, it's still my plan. And why that's important is because if the builder owns that copyright, they essentially control that project, in the sense that if you get another builder build that house, the builder's going to keep an eye on it, and they're going to say, hang on, well, that's my plan. And they can come back and request, damages, I suppose, for the fact that intellectual property has been stolen. So, and that might not be just the fact of spending, the couple of $100 it costs to draw up a plan. That might be then saying, hey, well, I missed out on the profit from that deal, which might be $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. I need reimbursement for that profit that I would have got. And so that's the scary thing about it. It might be, people just think it's just a matter of just, oh, okay, cool, I'll just pay off the builder for a few $100 for what he spent drawing up plans. He can actually, depending on where they're at, and the problem is the bigger the builder, the deeper their pockets, and the more aggressive their lawyers can be sometimes, and they can get quite aggressive. And at the end of the day, you just have to particularly if you're just an individual fighting up against a big builder that has, you know, a lot more experience and knowledge than yourself, you might just have to give in and just sort of pay them off to just keep them quiet. And that generally that'll be thousands of dollars, potentially tens of thousands of dollars, which can have a significant effect not only on your budget but on the budget of your build as well. So that's the first thing why it's important to have your own plans. Is the whole copyright point is the fact that you can't compare pricing with another builder. And secondly, even if you do decide to go with that builder, so it doesn't really matter so much because you don't want to compare pricing against other builders, the problem for that is if the builder underquotes, or because obviously they've got incentive to quote a price which is cheaper than, you know, obviously you're inclined to go with the cheapest builder. So a good way for them to be the cheapest builder is just leave stuff out of the price of the house. So, and then once you sign the contract, they just add it all back in then, and the house gets more expensive as the process goes. The problem with that is if you've got a fixed price, if you've got a, hey, thanks for joining and thanks for the like. Yeah, if you've got a fixed budget, or you know, you just get really jacked off with the fact they've added heaps of money to the price and you're really not happy with that builder anymore, and you just, you know, want to tell the builder to get stuffed and switch to another builder, because the builders owns those plans, they have the copyright of the plans, you can't really switch to another builder because you've had all the council approvals, all the engineering, all the full working drawings, all the detailed plans have all been done on those particular plans. So if you suddenly said, hey, I don't like this builder anymore, I'm going to go to another builder, that builder might be saying, that's fine, you know, you can go somewhere else, I don't really care, but you're not taking my plans. The danger for you then, you've got to redraw those plans up with another builder, you got to get all your council plans approved, you have to get all your engineering done, all your, you know, your working drawings, or your building approval, all that effort, which could be months and months and months of effort, you've got to go right back to the start again, which most likely you're probably not going to. And so what that means is if your builder stuffs you around and they add money to your price, even if you're not happy about it and you're annoyed by it, you're going to stick with that builder anyway, because what choice do you have? Because you can't redraw the plans up and you can't go to another builder because you're stuck because that builder owns the plans. Alternatively, if you had the plans drawn up independently by a designer or an architect or whatever, then the benefits is the fact that firstly you can shop those plans around between various builders and comparing like with like to make sure, you know, when you are comparing the prices, you know you're getting the best value for money because you're comparing the same thing. Doesn't necessarily mean they're including everything, and that's the other danger, I suppose, and that's where experience comes in. But then the second thing is the fact that once you've signed up with a particular builder, you've got a lot more control over the process because they know that it's not their plans, it's your plans. So if they suddenly add money to the build, or there's time delays, or they're just annoying throughout the whole process, and you just get sick of them and you decide to switch to another builder, it's a relatively simple process. You can just say, hey, stuff you, Mr. Builder, I'm going somewhere else, and you can take those plans to another builder, and the builder continue on building, and the first builder can't really control that, because at the end of the day, they're your plans, you can take them wherever you want. So hopefully you can see the importance of why you should be drawing up plans independently. It gives you so much more power, not only comparing pricing, but also power with the builder to make sure that you've got control over the process and you're not locked in with a particular builder. So, you know, that's the advice I gave that client I was chatting to the other day. He's in a difficult situation now because he's got, you know, a whole pile of different plans done with different builders. So, yeah, we're going to have to come in and draw independent plans up, which is going to be difficult because most likely there's probably only so many ways you can draw a plan to fit on that block. So my advice is right from the very start, before you even start talking to builders, get some plans drawn up, and then you've got to save that whole argument over, you know, who owns copyright of the plans. So hope that's made sense. If you like what I had to say, click on the like button. If you haven't liked what I had to say, then still click on the like button because I really appreciate it. And if you know someone's thinking about building and, you know, they're talking about, oh, I'm going to draw some plans up, perhaps if you click on the share button, I'm sure they'll really appreciate to get some information to make sure they're doing it in an informed way to keep themselves out of trouble in the future, I think. And if you've got some comments to say, if you've had an experience where you've built before and you've had some problems with the plans or arguing with the builders over plans, then, you know, I'm look forward to hearing about those in the comment box. Or if you've got something you'd like me to talk about in a future episode, then just, yeah, put a comment in there and I'm happy to chat about that too. So thanks for your time. I look forward to talking to you next time. Bye for now.